Let me know when we're about to start, and I'll leave GM powers. I'm just filling out some tokens while I wait.
Alright.
Already started.
Well, just because you started recording doesn't mean we started playing.
True.
That's fair. Alright, so I'll let you get a few more tokens in and then stop after 2 or 3. Well, who wants to do the recap for today?
Before anything, hello everyone, Nehru here, and welcome back to another session of Fallout Equestria Distant Lands.
Okay, Nehru almost never gives introductions. I think she's acting pretty sus. I'm voting for her.
Well, she's clearly inviting us, the players, back to this. Hoping that things are going to go better than, well...
No, I think I saw
I
the
really need to buy Among Us.
It's free on the App Store.
I'm just trying to give a proper introduction.
No, I'm going to agree. That's kind of sus.
Well, I can confidently say it wasn't me. I was AFK in Vent.
Alright, let's stop with the Among Us memes and jokes and let's actually do some stuff regarding introductions and stuff. So.
Okay, GM is disregarding fun. That's pretty... Sorry, shut up.
Alright, so who's doing the recap? Because I usually do it, but I'm not doing it for once because I gotta eat food.
Well, I eat food too, so I'm clearly not it.
Anyone else not eating food right now?
I'm not eating food, but do you really want to trust me to give the recap?
No, but I want to see what you do anyway, just because humor.
I'll fill in your gaps.
A long time... Also, that's pretty gay. Long time ago, in an Equestria that is surrounded by water, we slaughtered a bunch of raiders, abducted a child that presumably was one of theirs, and brought them to the hole.
Wow.
That is just gonna keep on being a running joke, isn't it?
Yes.
And really, we didn't do much more than that other than we started some shopping. And there was some interactions, mostly with everyone pestering the filly.
Who is deaf?
I thought she was mute, not deaf.
No, she was talking.
She's deaf. She can talk, but she's deaf.
Oh, okay. Wow, now Tater Tot looks like an even bigger jerk for just throwing bubblegum at her face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't you remember? I removed the bubblegum from my inventory because she was looking for snacks.
Face hoof.
The first.
Of many.
Before the session even began, my power grows.
And I got a Fee in the chat. Hello, Fee, and apparently, from what I've been told, you can use gift tokens for a while now.
Yeah.
I don't use Twitch, so I have no clue what you're talking about.
I believe Fee's referring to Roll20.
Yeah, Roll20's allowed them for quite a while. It's just they're not a lot that were suitable for this game. Alright, I'm leaving GM powers because I filled out a few groups. We've got the Steel Rangers, the Talons, Slavers, Basic Raiders, and Gangers. Ready to roll.
That is very useful.
Should I be concerned that Fiora's saying about taking us to the Superstition Mountains now?
Fee, quit spoiling my story.
You actually believe in the Superstition Mountains?
Well, is it us or is it just her?
But no, yeah, with start. Alright, so I've set down my pop and Roll20 has loaded. So you're in the hole doing your shopping, which not much of note there. You buy things and you sell stuff. It's pretty standard. Aside from shopping, let's just assume that, like, skip ahead, shopping's done, any, like, extra shopping you can do in out-of-game talk. But after shopping, what are you guys doing?
Well, after shopping, it's probably getting later on in the day, correct?
Yes, you would see sun setting if you looked in the appropriate direction. So it's getting dark.
Well then, I recommend we bed down for the evening and let Tater Tot give Masher an upgrade.
Well, I assume you have all the necessary stuff for that. It's just a my little workbench or whatever, and leather armor, correct?
For what I'm doing for him, yes. Anything else relies on the shopping spree, which may or may not have happened off screen.
That is fair. I really should do shopping like immediately after sessions, if not like in the morning after. That way we don't have to do this all the time. Well, while you're doing that, what about you, Misty? Anything of interest going on with you and Pixie and Soul?
Well, I just said that she's bugging Soul for more sorting lessons. The magic sorting lessons. Because what other kind of lessons are there?
The kind you have to go to Tater Tot's workplace for.
Ugh.
Alright. So we'll spend some time teaching you more about blade casting and whatnot. I know it's not your preferred style, but it's for character most, so.
It is what it is. Training is training.
Yeah, she'll teach you some more about it, which I assume would be... Would that be learning a spell, or would that just be like flat bonus to magic skill? Because it's technically a spell, I think, but it's not like written that way. That's a weird one.
No clue.
I'll give you the actual like hard stats and whatnot of what this results in a moment. I'll have to look in the book, but for now, just know that she is teaching you more about blade casting for a bit while Taratot does his thing with Master's armor.
Alright.
As for Barry, what are you up to?
Well, assuming I've already gone to the magic shop to look at magic tomes and books, I assume the two primary things is to check in with the two quest givers, the mayor and the quest giver at the inn. You know,
Well,
make sure
yeah.
we receive payment for it.
Well, the inn would be closest since you're on the surface, but the mayor's office isn't all that far away either, just a bit further. Going into the inn/bar, effectively, there are a wide variety of customers in here today. There's a dragon off in the corner. A very short one, but it's a dragon, so yeah. He's only about a little bit taller than Spike, and not as tall as... I don't remember his name, but he's the red asshole dragon from the show.
Garble.
Yeah, that idiot. Yeah, he's somewhere
So
between
basically the
those.
size of a smolder, I imagine.
Yeah, around smolder size. Now that's a perfect explanation. But instead of being yellow and whatnot like smolder would be, they're more of earthy brown and green colors. Aside from them, there's a few changelings just mingling about, some earth ponies, a unicorn off in the corner playing cards for a filly and their parent. And then there's a pony in NCR Ranger armor. I think it looks like he's sleeping, so. And in the main center is the bar owner, Spider Pony, that gave you the job.
Barry will approach the bar owner. Hello there. I hope that the radio service has been better for you now.
Oh, you guys, yeah.
But
It's
there's
been
an echo.
wonderful. It's been great. Thank you so much for that. I assume you're here for your payment.
That would be nice. Have things gotten better around here with the radio restored?
Yes, as I said, it's been a tremendous help. We got some new trade coming through here, which we desperately needed. Last time you were here, we were kind of running low on food and supplies in general, but it's helped out greatly. So, again, thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Now, was there an amount that we agreed upon? I assume it was something in the range of 500 to 1,500, something like that.
Above board, what was it that we agreed on? It's been a while, so I honestly don't remember.
I believe it was 1,000, according to what I have written.
I believe the agreement was 1,000.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll give you 1,200. Think of it as appreciation payment on top of everything else. She will, with one of her spiderly limbs, reach back behind the counter and get you a pouch of caps. That should be all of it. And what all do you drink, alcohol wise?
You'd have to ask the others themselves. I'm a bit more of a rum zebra.
Rum is alcohol.
I think she knows. All right, rum it is. I shall get out 2 bottles of rum, hand them to you. Here you go. I will ask your other party members whenever they come through here. Oh, and I know weird shenanigans because like you guys aren't really all that tightly lipped. I hear everything in this bar. Would you say that the little one, now decently tall one with flowy mane and hair, Misty, right? That's their name, right?
Barry will nod.
Do they drink? Because from what I've heard from like just listening in on your conversations and as well as other people just in the bar in general, she was a filly and now she's not. She's like 17, I think.
Her physical status is more around the 13 mark, although she is still technically 7.
So that's a no on giving her a drink. Probably. I mean, if she asks for alcohol, I guess I'll give it to her, but I won't overtly throw alcohol at her. Aside from that, is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Nothing comes to mind at the moment, apart from going to speak to the mayor about to settle a business with the jobs that we had there. It's just going to be a matter of us getting a good night's rest in to take care of the one last job we have from here, and helping one of our own with one of their quests.
Well, sounds like you have your work cut out for you. I need to get back to work, and the GM needs to see what Jean is up to before sending you over to the mayor.
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
So, Jean. You can talk.
Hello?
We hear you.
Yeah, I said I'm going to do foraging. I'll work out the whole hunting. Gene's going to go out and forage.
Roll survivalism.
Do I roll survivalism or that foraging table?
It would be survivalism to see if you'd roll on the foraging table. Forge just tells you randomly what find.
Alright, I roll in the foraging now.
Yes.
Huh.
That's actually a very useful ingredient.
But it says 0.
It will always say 0 when you roll on it. So it's up to the GM usually how much you get, but some of those items say how many you find, really. Let's see, depending on local plants. Your alchemy survivalism and traps divided by 10 hooffuls found, according to the log safe.
But what did he actually get? Because...
Grasses.
Oh. I was wondering... I read that on Roll20. I didn't know that was actually what he got.
So your skill is 100, right?
Yep.
So then, unless GM says otherwise, by a locked safe, you would have found 10 units of them. 10 pounds.
That's quite a bit if you want to trade it, like, in town for some.
I have to look up what the grasses items actually are.
Page 422 of the locked safe. As a vegetarian item, they would restore 5 hit points. Their value is 1 cap per pound.
I'll lower it to 8 instead of 10.
Okay.
Still a decent amount, but it's not 10, so... Yeah.
But why?
No particular reason. Just feel like it.
Ah.
I'm joking. But yeah. 8 instead of 10, because...
Awkward silence.
I was not expecting that voice.
I mean, it wasn't until you said something.
Well, let's break said silence. Masher, what are you up to? While Taratot does your armor.
Well, if I don't need to actually... Well, it depends. Do I need to actually be there while he does the armor?
He doesn't need to take it off and, like, read your measurements, but after that, you should be gone.
Well, unless y'all want him watching over the car, he'll probably be in the bar.
the bartender, who I have gotten the name of finally, Steel Thread. There we go. Yay. She waves you over, handing you 2 vodkas, and informing you that you've been paid, that Barry got paid for the job and everything.
Sabo. Well, in which case, he'll just find a nice little spot along the bar and enjoy the vodkas until someone actually needs it.
Alright. And that's everyone. So, Barry. You head into the lower caverns, taking the same route that you took the first time that you had to go to the mayor's office. It's pretty sparsely populated in foot traffic, I mean. There's no one really out and about. Anyone that was running a shop is closing up for the day and heading home. Hey, it's my 3rd favorite zebra. I had to think for a second. Sorry about the nuisance and general rudeness of our first meeting. Thank you for doing that job. That's why you're here, right? The job and being paid, right?
Indeed.
Alright, let me dig around in here. She opens up the filing cabinets, moving some stuff around, throwing out a snow globe, and then tosses a paper bag of 2,000 caps at you for you to split between the party, like your other caps from the other job.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. You gave us a new sunroof in the form of a plasma-induced mine explosion in the roof, and you deterred Enclave. We haven't had anything notable of hostile intents happening since the bombs went off about a day or 2 after you left.
Hopefully that'll act as a deterrent to keep them from coming back.
I mean, it kept the Enclave out. It kept, just in general, Pegasi away. Some raiders came by. They didn't want to mess with us after that. Yeah. Explosions that kill people in power armor really do scare ponies. Especially unarmed ones. So, or at least lowly armed ones. But as for anything else, you're welcome to the town, as usual. I'm thinking about building a pool if you ever want to go swimming. But that's about it, yeah. See you around, I guess, Mrs. Barry.
Until next time, Mayor. You do take care of yourself. And at that, Barry would go and head back to the inn. Probably hopping over next to Masher to have some of her rum while he's having some of his vodka.
All right. What's the addiction chance of rum and vodka?
I believe it is 5%. Yeah, okay, except moonshine. All hard spirits are 5%.
Roll for addiction.
Question: how does addiction resist playing? Because I've got 90% addiction resist.
If you would become addicted, then you roll resistance against it like you'd roll poison.
And I believe to become addicted, you roll a 1d100, and if you get above the addiction chance, you don't get addicted. Am I correct in that, Top?
Yes, so if there's a 5% chance of addiction, you want to roll and get above 5.
And then for every subsequent drink, it adds another 5%. If it's vodka and its addiction chance is 5%.
I believe you just roll against it each time because law of averages state eventually you'll fail.
You drink enough, it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
That is not how I read it. I will reread it, but alright.
I could be mistaken.
I believe it adds the addiction chance each time you like take it again. So if you take dash, which I think has, let's just say it has 5. If you take dash once and you pass, then you take it again. Instead of 5, it would be 10%, and you pass, and then you take it again. And instead of 10, it would be 15. So eventually,
I'm looking it up right now just to.
Well, the question I have is, would that apply if you're just like slamming them back, or is it like you have one a week later, you have another?
For alcohol, if you're slamming it back, I'll just count it as 1. But if you're having them like in dispersed intervals, I will count them as like separate times.
Well,
we could just check the book.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get drunk enough this time to get addicted to it?
So each additional use within the time, or back to back, would just add 10% to a maximum of 30 additional. So in the case of the alcohol here, if it's back to back use, the highest it could be raised to would be 35%, since the base is 5. So it'd be 5, then 15, then 25, then 35. And that's if you're doing repeated shots after each other. Or whatever the GM determines is back-to-back.
I'd say repeated shots. Like, within an hour. So, yeah. That's the lowdown of how addiction rules work and everything. So, if you haven't already, roll it.
Well, I think we've beaten it.
Yes, you have. Yeah, you beat it. Very much so.
Whether
So you're not addicted
counting
or
it
anything.
as a crit failure or a crit success.
I'm not going to count that.
No. I'm just saying, depending on from which way you're counting the dice, we didn't do it.
You
On
pass with
cards.
flying colors. Trust me.
I'll
The
show you
higher-
why. I've been
the
doing
higher
this
you roll.
insidious dives for 200 years. Now what you were saying.
All right, so you drink your drinks. Jean comes back from foraging. Misty learns magics, and Terratots finishes up with his armor building for Master. Yeah, I guess it's building, technically. It's pretty late, nearing 8 o'clock, I'd say, because of how fast Terratot can like build stuff, and a lesson of like teaching someone something usually lasts an hour to 2 hours. So it's around 8 o'clock, and yeah, where would you all be sleeping? I assume Masher just won't sleep because he doesn't need to.
Barry will, of course, get a room at the inn.
Gina's gonna sleep at
Yes.
AP's.
Continue, Gene. Sorry about being interrupted.
I was gonna say Eugene was also gonna sleep in the wagon.
So wagon for Gene, inn for Barry. Terratut hasn't said. Missy just says yes, and Masher, he no sleep.
Look,
Tater
Tater
Tots.
Tot said he's sleeping in the car. Jean said she's sleeping in the car. Barry's sleeping at the inn. Misty's doing whatever Misty wants. That's his only right and proper.
Yeah. I did not hear when Terratut said that, so my apologies.
Tater Tot typed it up.
I typed it in because people were talking and I didn't want to interrupt.
That's called respect, and I'm glad you have it. It's just that I'm blind.
Lies and heresy.
I'll assume Misty's in the car, since you haven't actually said an actual location.
Yes, I did. I
You
must
said
have been muted or
yes.
something. I said she buys the most expensive room.
Oh. Well then, yeah, you were muted or something.
Oh, sorry about that. The most expensivest.
Alright, I gotta figure out what the most expensivest is.
Yes.
Well, how many caps do you have?
Enough.
That is a wise thing to say. It's 35 caps.
Okay, done.
It's nothing extraordinarily glamorous. It's not like a pristine vault room or anything, but it's a far cry better than whatever Barry is sleeping in. With her 5 cap room. Your sheets are clean, your mattress is clean, your bed frame is only slightly falling apart.
Neat.
And they actually have a, albeit chewed up and a tad bit stained, but they have a bed for Pixie, so
Well, that's impressive.
it's actually a dog bed, but don't worry about it.
Misty will cast clean on it. It's fine.
Alright, so you all spend your nights, you sleep and everything. Well, and Masher just stares at the night sky. But you all sleep and everything. Waking up. I forget, how did I do wake ups before? Anyone want to just sleep in? Who wakes up first?
I believe
I'll
you.
leave it
If I
to-
recall correctly, how you handled wake ups before was rolling endurance with whoever got the worst endurance rolls being the one who wakes up first, and the ones who got the better endurance rolls got to sleep in later. If I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. And no one was, and either of you are absolutely smashed on alcohol, so you won't have a hangover or anything. Yeah, roll endurance.
So it looks like the order of waking up is Jean, then Tater Tot, then Barry and Misty.
Yes, though Masher doesn't have to roll. He's always awake.
Mm-hmm.
My brain, it forgets things.
I also kind of like how the two that slept in the inn were the ones who got the most sleep.
Speaking from
Well-
experience, sleeping in a car is not that comfortable.
That and hyperactive likes training. Probably got to bed late. So yeah.
And just went flump.
How bad is our snoring today? Not bad.
Just put your bric-a-brac in either general in Discord or Roll20. Either one, Hairtot. Masher, since you are always awake, even at night, roll perception for any interesting sights that you saw during the night. Aside from hearing a trash can fall over, you don't see anything.
What can I say? They had an interesting book available at the table.
101 pictures of pillow-shaped tacos. Or taco-shaped pillows, whatever.
Misty currently has that book in her inventory.
Yeah, Nessie does have that book.
Turns out we seriously need to wash your mane out at some point.
But it's where I keep all this stuff.
All right. So. What is that referring to? All right. Gene, you're next.
I'm just imagining since it's taking place Kara with G and whoever else is in there. That just random objects start shooting out of Tirtat's brain. And there's not much else to do but you reconvene with everyone else and see what the plan is.
All right. So, Bird wakes up. Are you a morning bird?
You mean early bird?
Yes.
Same difference.
Probably. Yeah.
All right, so you're not like grumpy or anything. You wake up and wait for the rest of the party. I'll assume that you're just reading your books or something.
Yep.
I think your worm is getting away.
Just pull out a bunch of packaged and cooked meat. It's already dead.
The thing is, you know, I'm not gonna make that joke. Yeah. After Jean, Tattertots. Are you a morning pony, Tattertots?
No, he's an earth pony. So
I can't deny facts.
So after getting up and finding this random assortment of stuff around him, he'll add it to his bags and then go off in search of breakfast, the most important meal of the day.
Looking for breakfast. Well, depending on where you go to get it, you got the inn. You have the meals that they serve over at the strip club for their employees, which you technically are one of, somewhat.
Employee meals are best meals.
That is a fact. I'm going to move you all to the map finally because you're on the map. I'm dumb. There's the building that actually has the word food written on it because it's a restaurant that you all would go to, but go in, get your employee package of random assorted goods that are definitely delicious. It has a fresh apple in it, so.
Oh, yes. Apples. Potatoes at the trees.
Applejack would have a word with you.
She should talk to French.
Jackalap. Yeah.
All right. Following Terratot's search of food is Barry waking up, along with Rude, obviously.
Mm-hmm. After waking up, stretching out a little, Barry will head down to the main part of the inn and have some breakfast.
You have a few different choices. You got some bacon, some sugar apple bombs, the daily special
bacon.
of. They have a daily special of some cooked bloatfly meat with sugar apple bombs and salad all at once because reasons. Some water for in case of hangovers. It's basically free. So you can't fill up your canteen with it, but you get free water.
I think I'll go with the bacon and the apple bombs.
All right. Said items are. Well, you're at full HP, and all food does is give you HP, so.
And rads.
And rads, yeah.
Yeah, you also need to eat 2 a day. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure this covers the eating of the day. Well, for now. Breakfast. I'll give you the rad count that this gives you in a bit. That way you don't have to pull it up and whatnot.
One thing I'm gonna ask to make or I'll ask there's an item called a water filter, which you can use to turn or reduce the rads in dirty water. But the thing is, it takes mechanics instead of survival of filtering dirty water.
That is BS.
It requires mechanics to make the water filter.
It takes rocks, an empty bottle, and a rag.
Well, if you want, Tater Tot can literally just make it for you, and then you just have it.
Yeah. All right.
Because I have everything but the grasses, which you've hoarded for yourself.
I think that's just a thing that they ported over straight from New Vegas.
Yeah, seems kind of BSy, but yeah, I just have hand over the grass and have you make the filters. Then we can use the glass pitchers from bric-a-brac to pour dirty water into it, make filtered water.
Did anyone forget about the container that Barry used shamanism to impart with a spirit of water? We've got clean water.
Oh, damn it.
Well,
I just have grass and nuts for you guys to eat.
Well, here, do you still want a water filter? That way you have one if you get separated.
Sure.
Okay. Just subtracting the materials, and I'll make the mechanics check in a second.
So what we
I was wondering whenever you were
buying,
thinking.
I was gonna say we should really be buying some empty bottles that, if it refills per day, then we just fill up empty bottles with pure water.
Here's the thing. You have a cloud that follows you around. Thanks to Misty.
Yeah, but is that...
You have a
Sorry,
water
what did I do?
filter. And well, that's about it. But you still have two different sources of water that are basically permanent.
Well, if there's a cloud, it's probably going to be rat water. And you get rats when you're out.
Excuse you, I can cast Purify Food and Water.
Isn't that just for food?
Purify Food. May remove potency reds and from food items. Well, let me look at what are considered food items.
But yeah, we should probably just buy a bunch of empty glass bottles to fill.
Worst case scenario is we can always sell them.
Food. The very first thing under food subroutine is drinks. Therefore, drinks are food.
Yeah, and for the record, that Spirit of Waves gives 5 gallons of clean water per day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get some empty bottles and fill it with pure water.
Well, Solemn will become water Brahmin merchants or whatever.
You don't have any Brahmin.
Doesn't matter. We can still turn one of these. We can still turn one of these towns into the hub.
I
Oh,
guess.
how many food items?
Continue.
I was gonna say the wonders of voice chat. I was gonna ask how many food items can you purify in one go?
I believe the spell doesn't have a limit on number, but it has a limit on how far and like wide it can be cast, right, Misty?
Sorry, what?
Purify food.
What about it?
How many items can it purify?
Versatility amount of food items. So
Who has that?
That would be 8.
Oh,
It removes potency rads and mold from versatility amount of food items.
So that would be 8 pounds. I could purify at once, at least if we use the drinks on the first page are all listed as being 1 pound. So.
I was gonna ask if you could use that on my food item.
Yes.
Yeah, I have 8 food items. 1 8.
And
2.
Gene, in case you forgot, cooking food does reduce the amount of rads it has by half.
Yeah, but it doesn't eliminate.
I know, because what I'm saying is Misty can only remove potency rads.
Yep, which is 8.
I thought that was her versatility.
Yeah, that's my versatility. My potency is 10.
Okay, so she can remove 10 rads, so if something has more than 10 rads and you cook it first...
Yeah, it's all cooked food, I know.
Okay, just checking.
So yeah, one casting should purify the 8 food items I have on.
Because, like, she doesn't like radiation. It tastes sick. It makes her sick. And it made Pixie Sticks sick when she was young, so no, that's bad. It's all part of her tragic backstory.
And if she needs any other object lessons, look to the rotten potato bone.
Can you cast it then?
She did. That's why I rolled magic.
I'm not even on.
Here's the thing. I think half of us look at Discord, and then the other half look at Roll20.
Now, you see, I'm on a tablet, so I can only view one thing at a time. So I have to, minimize and go to my character sheet. Then I have to minimize and go to Roll20. Then I have to minimize and go to Discord. I have to keep swapping back and forth between apps.
Thank you for waiting very patiently for an answer about your weather question, Masher.
I did just put down a weather table I use in my own game, if you wish to use it here.
That's useful. I was just gonna pick a random thing that I thought of, but that's useful. That would be much more useful if I could find it.
It would be under the macro page. Scroll all the way to the bottom, under rollable tables. Only you should see it. If it's not there, then I've got to make an edit to it. I'll just go make that edit now. There, now do you see it?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
The skies are clear, and there's no overt signs of not clearness. Question, Terra, does that include the special weather in this system, such as magic storms and rad storms?
I did not include that on there, but I can definitely edit it to have it. There's a 40% chance of normal weather, and then the rest there's just it would say adverse weather or mild weather, and give a penalty to something.
I'll talk to you after session about what percentages things should be in that and what weather to put in there. Because you're the macro guy. You know what you're doing with that, and I don't.
All right.
Okay, so we got off on a tangent somewhere. What we were doing actually in game last?
Getting breakfast, most of us.
Mm-hmm.
But who specifically?
Barry had just gotten some bacon and apple bombs for breakfast.
Then we're on Misty.
Or more so, the apple bombs for her, the bacon for Root.
All right. In that case, we're on Misty and her game, which effectively it is because she got a fox, she got a tall, wingless, hornless alicorn, she got a cloud, she has a stick.
She has the best stick.
She has a glowing stick.
Hey, it's getting more magical by the day, okay? Just you wait. Any day now, it'll bring people back to life. Just wait.
Whenever I strike that thing with lightning, you're gonna cry.
No, I won't, because I'll clearly have turned into a zappy stick, and she can summon lightning with it.
I was thinking the
This
other
is how
stick.
magic works. She is going to see if she can create the ultimate food. Chocolate-covered bacon.
You fool. It's never been done before.
Yeah. It's happening.
Oh dear. Here we go.
Stand by.
So the question is, what, if anything, am I rolling for this?
That's what I'm trying to think.
I would say
So-
the default should be survivalism, because that seems to be the main.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that one or profession chef.
All right, what's your profession like, Misty? Or okay, because profession is that weird skill in there
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't always make
that
sense.
got gotten rid of, and it was for performance type stuff, so it wouldn't have helped with this any.
All right, yeah, survivalism, sure.
Frick. Why would you do this to me, Tater Tot? You're a jerk.
Do you want me to help you out a little bit there?
It won't help. Don't save it.
Okay.
Ah, they don't have any chocolate. What kind of stupid... This is why nobody likes the whole. Blah.
What are you talking
How
about?
do you
It's
not
fine.
have chocolate? Ugh, okay, we're leaving.
No, they have chocolate. You just couldn't find it.
Okay, I'm leaving. Screw this. This is a scam. Everybody go. Let's go.
So how far away is that town to be getting to? Also, has anyone seen
I can
the
tell you in
backstory?
mine.
The slaver town. But saying that
All
out
right, I'll
loud in the
tell you-
bar doesn't seem like.
So, who are you talking to? Or
I
was that
assume we were
in
all eating
character or out of
together.
character?
I was assuming we were all eating together at the end, correct?
I mean, unless anyone protests and says that they're not in the inn eating, I guess.
I mean, Tater Tot was having a employee meal, so unless they feed me at the inn.
No, yeah, Taratot's over in the strip club.
And I'll just ask Barry then.
So, about above board, how far is the raider camp, slaver camp?
Let me pull up my measurement thing on the map. If you're going by the roads / train tracks, it is 81 miles. If you're off-roading it and basically going in a straight diagonal line, ignoring any and all possible obstructions, it would be 51 miles. So 51 to 81 miles, depending on how you get there.
That didn't answer the question. How far do we travel per day in the wagon then?
How fast would you like me to drive?
I mean, even if we were off-roading completely and thus forced to drive slow, that wouldn't be more than half a day in the vehicle. Unless
Yeah.
there was completely impassable terrain.
All right, just want to make sure I, stock
Like
up on that food.
at your average speed, you like travel 24 miles a day. But if you're like actually going fast, yeah, that's not that big of a trip.
I mean, Master's driving. We're going fast.
Right. I'm just gonna stock up on some meat anyway. Other food items.
All right. You're gonna
They have
stock
any
up
more-
on some meat.
Yeah. Do they have any more bacon to just buy?
You can buy as much bacon as you want.
See if I could buy some rat hog. We should probably buy some regular food.
Okay, it's like chocolate covered bacon. Is it like a meme? Is it a trend or something that I've just blissfully been ignorant to or something?
It's not nearly as tasty as you would think, so it's really not that popular.
I mean, they have it
Why
at the
would
state
I
fair.
Why would anyone think it was tasty?
Because bacon and chocolate.
Salty and sweet. I mean, brown sugar bacon is a thing. Depends on the. Yeah, it depends on the chocolate you use. Blah blah blah. I can go on about this after session.
All right. Okay, so as for travel in the car, how are you going to be going? Are you going by the road? Are you going off road?
The roads was the original planned route.
All right, we will be tearing down the roads at ludicrous speed.
Better buckle up. Yep, and also might want to move that 1-0 over to the doctor's office, since I don't think we're bringing them with us.
We already did that when we
No,
got here.
I mean the token.
Also, where's the bat filling?
The Bat Philly is still in the car.
This is a conflict of tokens being in places.
I'm just gonna post to a shop.
Yep, and while we're driving, it's a good time to get some more reading lessons in for Misty.
I believe we were heading for Bastard Town, right?
I believe
Whatever
so.
the Slaver
is
town
not-
is.
Yep.
$200 caps. For
All right, so any encounters or whatnot that would have been triggered in like your usual Fallout game, you just like you hear the XP of discovering the location, and then you're already gone. Rushing down the roads and past the train tracks, hitting geckos and rad roaches and raiders, specifically one walking around with a cane. It was an old lady raider, but still. And you arrive. It's a hilly area, very hilly. You can see the mountains in the distance. And for the people that were in the party at the time, the town before you got to Mud originally. In the distance from the way you came. But here you are. It's this bastard town, as Taratot has labeled it. You wouldn't call it a town per se. It's more a fortified encampment, if anything. Sure, there are houses here and there, but it is not a town. And if you roll perception, you will notice a very interesting fact of this place.
I can't tell because everyone's doing it weird. Perception?
Perception.
See, that's what you get for doing it all funny. Or something. I don't know.
So Misty sees everything.
Of course, she's got her new armor. It's got all the colorful dots and everything.
How many bottles can be filled from that one container?
Well, how big is one bottle of water?
A pound?
Like in terms of fluid ounce? I mean, like fluid ounces and whatnot.
Hold on.
16
A
fluid
gallon.
ounces.
A gallon typically has 8 1/3 pounds of water. So if a bottle is 1 pound,
a bottle
then we
of
can-
water is fluid ounces, 16 fluid ounces. Not the weight of the item, how much liquid contained inside it.
yes, but all of the food and whatnot is in literal pounds. And a gallon weighs 8.3 physical pounds.
Alright, let's
That includes
suspend a
the
bit.
bottle.
Okay, so just to end this conversation, I went and did the math. There are roughly 10 bottles of fluid to 1 gallon. Standard drinking.
All right. There we go. If you have the bottles to put them in, you can get 10 bottles of water out of a gallon.
Right?
don't forget to spend the bottle caps to seal it.
Yeah.
That's only if like you're doing that, but alright.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Water bottles exist tater-tot.
Yes, but we are also in the fantasy realm of Fallout-ish stuff, so you actually had to use bottle caps to reseal those styles of bottles. Twist tops were not really a thing.
I mean, do we have
Have
to use
you
bottle
not
caps?
seen Fallout 3? In Fallout 3, there are actual water bottles, tater-tot.
I have played Fallout 3. And
Anyway,
those were
moving
usually
on.
canteens.
I just want to make sure I had enough supplies for.
Alright, so we can focus on this tangent after session. Yes, for Masher and Misty, the only people that actually passed perception, we'll start with Masher first. The encampment, as it is more encampment. Yeah. All right. The encampment is big. Not big in the sense of like there's a lot of stuff here, because it's got the fairly same amount of stuff as any other place of this variety in the wasteland. But things are bigger, made for bigger creatures than what a pony would be. There's no one overtly outside, aside from slaves, some ponies and chains walking around from place to place doing their task, and cameras watching them. But as you look away to actually focus on the car and parking and everything, Misty will see, alongside what you saw, she will see a minotaur come out of one of the buildings.
Whoa, look, it's a one-headed Brahmin. And it's walking on its hind legs?
Misty, I believe that's what's known as a minotaur.
One of those bastards is here? Great.
Calculating. What do I know about Minotaurs?
Wouldn't that be a academics and lore check?
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a better one.
Skill that never gets used.
The one that Missy consistently does well on, despite not having any ranks in it. That's close. Frick. Okay.
You know that you've never seen one in your life.
I mean, I knew that, but okay. Whatever. It's a one-headed Brahmin. This is what Misty knows. Yes.
Great. The slavers are, if not comprised of, at least has a minotaur among their number.
Shoot them in the head, they die like anything else.
So, how are we going to play this?
How many of them are there? Can you give a ballpark?
Well, there's something that two different people have the ability to say that they do.
EFS.
Yep.
All right, so looking at EFS, there is from up here on this hill. You can see 20, maybe 30 some red dots.
Hmm.
And that is for Misty. As for Barry, there is less red dots and more yellow than that. Evening out around more 15 to 20 red dots for Barry. Implying that
That's a lot.
they're not all hostile towards Barry.
That's a lot of dots. That's like so many dots. It's gotta be at least 30 of them.
Yeah. I'm getting it at least 20 plus.
Okay, I'll take that as you didn't hear. Okay, sorry. Phone dirt. Missy's got a nod in agreement saying, yeah, there's got to be at least 30 of them.
So, yeah, we're definitely going to have to play this smart with these kinds of numbers.
Wait, you have yellow? I don't have yellow. Is my color broken? She starts
Your
rapping on her
yellow
helmet.
would be... Misty, you would have yellow. It's just that all of yours is collected in one space, so you can't count the number because it's overlapping.
Okay. Alright, I thought you were saying that there were more aggressive versus Missy specifically than Barry. Okay.
Either way, there's a lot of hostility out there. So we need some kind of battle plan.
What are we doing again?
Well, we could always do. We could always do a drive-by.
I mean, I have my sniper rifle. I could shoot from afar.
I mean, like, we've got the big gun up there. We drive through, bury whoever can blast anyone out in the open. We zoom off, turn around, zoom back through, rinse and repeat.
Isn't there a minigun in the trunk?
It's mounted on the vehicle, but may I make another suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps Gene could, use those binoculars or the scope on the sniper rifle or anything to see if the individual they want to kill is there. Because these numbers seem a bit too much for us, even doing drive-bys, as it were. Of course, a large number of those are possibly slaves if these people are indeed slavers.
Another thing is, I learned my lesson. I'm not gonna throw all of them at you at once. Don't worry.
Oh, you don't
still.
want me to blow them all up with magic? Okay. They'd probably get to blow us up first.
I'll say, that's another thing. Keep an eye out for a light blue unicorn stallion. They're up in their mid to late 40s.
Well, she did really well the first time. Can't she spot that? No.
Gene will look through the scope. That's a fail too.
That's a fail.
Go blind temporarily. Yeah, you guys can take your turns with the binoculars while I use the scope.
Yeah, looks like Master is the only one who sees anything.
Alright. Masher, as you borrow the binoculars, one of the buildings has a balcony. Either side flanking. Either side has flanking griffins on it. And there is a blue pony, though he's wearing a hat and coat. You wouldn't know if he's a unicorn or not.
Gene, did they give you any pictures of the target? Or just a description?
No, just the description.
Okay. There's a balcony, 3rd floor left. A couple of pigeons on there, and might be your guy.
Pigeons?
Griffins.
That's gonna hit you.
Yeah, we called them pigeons back in the day.
Can I observe them or him or the griffins at all? With the scope?
After they've been pointed out, yes.
Robot!
God,
Robot!
Jesus Christ.
Exterminate.
When the Daleks get drunk.
Alright. Yes, you can, after they've been pointed out, you can look through your binoculars and see them.
We are now being GM'd by a Dalek.
Would Gene recognize any of them? Just
He just left to try to fix
Oh.
it.
Has this improved?
Significant.
Yep. Would Gene recognize any of the griffins? Probably not, but just figure I'd ask before shooting.
Roll up.
That is a failure.
It's not one of the ones on the balcony, but it's not one of the ones on the balcony, but on the ground walking around would be one of your sisters. Talons. So,
Shit.
Is there some kind of problem, Gene?
I recognize one of the griffins on the ground there. His sister.
What?
My sister. One of them.
Your sister, you're saying? You're kind of cutting that there.
Yes, sister.
Did you have a good relationship with her or a bad one?
A good one, but
So
Does she
not
have
be like
a bomb collar?
doubtful. But Gene will check.
well, if she
she
doesn't,
is in her Talon combat armor and is armed. She is. If she is being held by her will, she is putting up a really good attitude, but more than likely she is here on pay.
So you don't need me to teleport her out, is what I'm.
I'm gonna have to try and disable her first. Switch
And
those.
by disable, you mean talk to her, right?
Well, I was just gonna use some non-lethal round.
you can't just
the
go
job's
up
the
to her.
job, so
I mean, yeah, the job is the job, but you can't get extra intel out of your sister, or is she the kind who would shoot you on sight?
no, she doesn't really like guns. She prefers to get up close.
Okay, stab you on sight.
We're on good terms, but I have my contract and she has hers. So
I
I'd like
mean,
to
can
avoid
we
killing her.
just buy her contract, or how does that work?
Well, if she has a contract, she's gonna see it through, But
So we get her out, talk to her to ask what her contract is, and see what we can do about it.
I was figuring to just knock her out, and once her employer's dead, the contract's over.
I mean, we need to know who has her contract. Yes? No?
As long as we kill all the slavers there, I feel like that should do it. And normally, if it was someone else I worked with before, maybe I'd want to talk to them. But this is Giselle. She's She's very good at talking, and also very sneaky. So she can be kind of devious. Plus, I did kind of leave the family to strike out on my own, so
And that's not something that's normally done?
No, I was, born a Talon, but it'd probably be best to, well, if you guys want, I could try and talk to her. We can see how that goes, but I just figured it'd be a lot better to talk to her once the contract's over.
You're sure that you could that you can knock her out quickly and easily?
Oh, I can still shoot pretty far with this new shotgun I have. I load up with beanbag round. And I've been away from family for a pretty long time.
Why wouldn't she be
How mad do
excited
you?
to see you?
All right, I can try an approach on my own. See how that goes. I can always try and fly away. If things get a little dicey. But yeah, just be prepared to shoot if you hear gunfire.
Okay, I'll be watching. And she's just gonna... Wait, do we have binoculars, anyone?
Yeah, I'll give you the one that you need.
Yes! New toy, awesome.
Hear gunfire. Come in shooting. Got it.
Yeah, just
These
try
are
not
not
to
the
kill me.
doors you are looking for.
But yeah, if you just avoid killing the light blue unicorn and the griffin with the red wingtips like mine.
So red-winged griffin and blue unicorn. Don't kill everyone else. Feel free. Roger that.
Yeah.
Huh. So this is what it feels like to be, raider for hire or something.
Well, we're not raiders for hire. We're not indiscriminately.
Ganger, that's the
pillaging
word
and-
for him. Took me a minute.
I believe we
So,
prefer the
yeah.
term soldier of fortune.
I will do that thing you asked in a minute, Masher. I'm currently putting tokens on a map for you all to see.
That's fine.
And while our
Cap.
GM's doing that, I'm going to go and refill my water real quick.
And I need to make a mechanics check. Because I have just enough materials to make scrap binoculars. Yeah.
Yee. I need to get me one of them.
Get me some drinking glasses. I need 4 drinking glasses and 3 scrap metal to make you a pair.
Right, I'll steal them from the next bar we're at.
That's probably the best place to get them. Granted, I still probably won't be done making them until about the time the shooting starts. Even with my awesome powers.
Gene, I sent you a question through Roll20.
Say again.
I asked Gene a question.
Okay.
Okay, back. War is rebuilt.
It is important to stay hydrated.
All right, so the map is ready. Is everyone here?
I believe Masher.
I didn't know we were leaving.
I just had to refill my drink and get some cookies.
Yeah, while refilling his drink, I also grabbed a zebra cake roll.
Of course, you got a zebra cake roll.
What?
You're playing a zebra.
Any clue why Jing left?
Hello.
Welcome back.
Oh, have you guys been talking all this time?
Yes.
No.
No, I got nothing until the GM said they were placing tokens, and then it was just silence. So I thought everyone was just being quiet, waiting. And I just realized, oh no, this is way too long. Something happened with Discord. So I was just
Most
sitting
of
there.
that actually was silence. Most of that was actual silence, so you didn't miss much. That's a meme right there. All right, so as you continue watching with your binoculars and everything, or with your EFS tracking movements and whatnot, a few more people come out as said blue pony in cloak and hat. Looks like they're giving an announcement of some sort. You're too far away that I'm not even going to roll for you to hear it because you're not going to hear it. I don't care how heightened your horse senses may be.
Oh, really? I'm gonna do it anyway. Cause reason.
And before,
She's trying.
critical.
She's trying so hard.
Well, you might be able to read their lips.
Tada, you might want to leave the call and rejoin because that was very staticky.
I said she might be able to read the lips.
I'm going to move the map marker, the player marker, whatever, onto the map. For all to see the madness that is going down there.
Did you do the thing, Pepsi?
All Alright, so as you're looking from afar, you see few hellhounds, few minotaur, mostly minotaur, and some griffins all come out along with slaves. It's not all the things that are in this place, but there's a good few out. Most of them heading back into the buildings after the announcement finishes up, and you're watching from afar, obviously. Any things you want to do before driving up? I'm going to ping which... You're coming in from the bottom left corner. No, the bottom right corner, sorry.
Amateur brown coat here.
Yes, near that guy. And where the map like cuts off and the buildings cut off is basically just the edges of camp. But the buildings actually finish and whatnot, and there's a fence, so. But is there anything that any of you want to do before heading in?
Spells.
I thought we were gonna wait for a signal before we ourselves went in, or was I missing?
Yeah. Successful spell.
Yeah, I thought
I
Gene
have
was gonna
armor
win.
in my armor.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna wait for the gunfire to actually start before we went in.
I don't know.
For gunfire to start, someone needs to go in.
Yeah,
Whether it's...
I thought Gene was going in and go talk to his friend there.
It's just,
All right.
Or
Yeah,
I thought
Gene's
Gene
gonna.
either talk or at least, incapacitate.
Yeah, Gene's gonna have their shotgun with them instead of the sniper rifle.
Well, Gene, you have the floor. How are you going in? What are you doing? I'll ping where your sister is at.
Yeah.
I realized I haven't added her token to the map. I forgot to. While I look for a token that actually suits her, I'll have one placeholder.
Oh, are we donating our chicken kittens now?
I had one. I figured I might as well throw down.
Chicken kitten. Where did you go? I had some too. Doobity-doo. The only problem there is it's a wingless chicken kitten. So that's not the best chicken. Top.
But yeah. The one I pinged is your sister. So, Jean, how are you going about this?
Wait, which ping? I didn't see the.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, Gene's going to, load up the revolver shotgun with beanbag round. Just start walking, or a bit.
So you're walking to the front gate?
Yep.
Alright. The gate is opposite of where the car would be. On the topmost bit of the image. Outside would be both a minotaur and a griffin. One talon, the other just... Well, you don't know. It's a minotaur. You're not familiar with any of their factions or ranks. They eye you up a bit warily. You know what I'm trying to say. I just can't say warily. There we go. I said it. But they eye you up and wait for you to get decently close before holding up a hand. Well, a claw in the griffin's case. And a hoof in the... Well, no, it's a hand in the minotaur's case. I know what I'm talking about.
And Gene will halt.
The griffin will ask you to state your name and why you're here.
My name is hello there. My name is Gene Redwing, and I'm looking for Giselle Redwing.
Are you a talon?
Former Talon.
They will grab a radio on their shoulder. We have a Gene Redwind out here. Wishing to speak
Gene's
with Griselda. Or
Red
I
Wing.
think that's right. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But
I was saying Gene's. I was saying Gene's saying Red Wing instead of Red Wing. Red Wing is the actual thing. Gene changed it to Red Wing. After.
she will call for her to come out here to talk to you. A few minutes later, your sister comes to the gates, just flying over it instead of waiting for it to open. Hello, Jean.
Giselle. Been a while.
Yeah, it has. Did you sign up for this job as well? Last I saw you were in Equestria.
Doing some freelance work hunting Enclave.
You're hunting Enclave now.
Yep, they've been getting all over the place in this island.
Well, then I guess the next obvious question is, why are you here?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that question. Didn't expect to see you so far from Equestria.
Yeah. Technicality and wording and all that. I was helping defend this group, and since they moved location, I had to as well.
That's the problem with the long-term contracts. Let's see. There is one issue. I've been trying to find a certain component around, and the trail eventually led me here. Is the name Star Shower familiar?
She looks to be pondering for a minute, tapping her claw on her chin. I'm sorry, I don't think I know one. Any more details? Were they pony, griffin?
Stallion, unicorn, pony. Let's just say that they made their wife very annoying.
Well, that's pretty commonplace in the wasteland.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, go ahead.
are you on job to kill him?
Well, that's all going to depend on what I hear from his side. You know, when I saw you from the, from my scope when I was checking out this place, it's the darnest thing. I happened to see a unicorn, or what looks like a unicorn, hard to tell with the hat, that is just the same coat color as the pony I'm looking for.
Would you be referring to the pony that just gave an announcement up on the balcony?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, their name isn't Star Shower. No. Under most circumstances, that doesn't matter. People can change their names all they want. But what does matter is that he's my employer. So if he is the pony you're after, that's going to cause some problems.
Yes, but if he is the pony I'm looking for, then pretty soon you will be able to go back to mainland Equestria and get out of this place. Let me know if I can roll negotiation at all at any point during it.
Yes, go ahead and roll a negotiation.
Nope, that is a crit.
Sis, I'm sorry. My job is defend him. So I can't let you kill him. Tell you what. Whenever he decides to drop dead, I'll give you a call.
What was that?
She says she can't let you kill him, and that's whenever he drops dead, she'll give you a call.
I will ask one thing. Is your employer a unicorn?
Yes.
Out of character, this is going to be really difficult.
Out of character, why?
Because, the moment he dies, Giselle is free to leave. But we also said her contract to give him a slow, painful death if we could. which is something we can really only manage once everyone else in the facility in the slaver town is dead. But
Not
yeah, that's
necessarily.
We could always just set
I
him
mean-
on fire.
I mean, Misty can always teleport in, grab him, and force teleport out.
Or that.
yeah,
I mean,
it
granted,
doesn't
he gets an
have to be-
endurance roll to resist, but
It said, heavily painful death if possible, so there's wiggle room there. We could just shoot him.
Shoot him in the gut.
He needs to be dead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you shoot him in the gut, it's not going to be a pleasant death.
All right, sis. Who knows? Maybe you'll be able to get out of here pretty quickly. Oh, if you don't find me afterward, tell mom and dad and everyone else that I'm doing all right.
Sure thing, sis. Just don't get yourself killed chasing after Enclave.
Don't worry, this is going to... That's more of a standing bounty. This one is going to be a big payoff.
good news, we have a plan.
Jean will head off to leave if allowed, and after they've said their goodbyes.
And she will go back into the encampment. And for those of you up in the car overviewing everything, the majority of the
We also confirmed that the light blue stallion and the hat is in fact a unicorn. So
Pepsi, if we're saying anything, we can't hear you.
hello.
overviewing things. Most of the Minotaurs and overall hostile individuals are inside buildings. There are a few outside.
Right. So I'm going to tell the group good news that the moment we drop the boss man there in the hat, my sister will just get the heck out of here.
You're supposed to make him suffer, correct?
If possible, but there are probably ways we can manage that.
I'm a little bit loath to suggest this, but I may have what you want. With that, Tater Tot will pull out a jar with a rainbow-colored liquid inside of it and set it down.
Ew, is that jam?
Oh
Don't
dear.
touch that.
Missy is like 3 inches away from touching it. Pauses.
That is taint.
That will
So,
either make him suffer, or it will just make him worse.
Well,
Soul picks you up, Misty, and just puts you a foot away from it.
What?
There
Hey!
so direct exposure will often lead to someone's death, but should he survive, it will most likely horribly mutate him.
I will just say one thing. Is there any way we can get him a loan? Because
I could
another option.
teleport him out.
All right, if we can do that, we need to find a way to make him talk real quick. Because one other potential option, if we can swing it, is find out what happened to his daughter.
Perhaps wait until after nightfall when the guard is lighter and get him while he's asleep.
I don't know. A lot of us aren't really very stealthy. If my sister's going to be, protecting him, she is pretty much the definition of sneaky.
Oh, no, never mind. I cannot do that until... I think expert? I'm just double checking. Sorry, give me a second. Yes, two.
I suppose if push comes to shove, we can just ask the slaver, or any of the slaves, and any slavers that might have survived, if they know anything about the fall.
Okay. There's a version. Never mind, it says willing targets for advanced. Only expert talks about those who are not willing. And it seems like that teleport would be short range, so never mind. I'm sorry, I misremembered the spell.
Well, you could go in, make sure he stays asleep, and carry him out.
That's gonna risk the confrontation.
I mean, if he's unconscious, I could probably take him because he wouldn't be able to resist.
Yeah, hence waiting till he's asleep.
Is that he's still visible currently?
He would be inside.
Just watching.
If we can't coax him out, I'll have to go with my original plan of knocking his sister.
No, can't you just wait for him to come out on the balcony and snipe him?
Yeah, we could stake this place out. You don't know when the next time I'll give a speech. Do we want to wait for just to stake out this place?
Seems like it could potentially be the safest option.
I mean, if they find us and take exception to our presence, it's not like we're lacking in firepower.
Yeah, I feel like we could, take this place. I could just knock out my sister and then drag her out once the fight.
Is she your big sis or your little sis?
Older sis. Grace is
Hmm.
still. I guess she's just going into her teens about now. Yeah, she'd be way too small to be working on. But yeah, Giselle is my older sister. She is very stealthy. Likes to find up close. She can be kind of excessively charming depending on the situation. Oh, I think Discord crapped out.
I can still hear you just fine.
No.
Oh, there we go.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah. So which plan do we want to go with? Team Taint? Or...
Well, if you wish to interrogate him, Taint could kill him right off the bat, thus rendering any interrogation impossible.
We can still save it for next week.
Yes.
So we'll speak up. You could use the tank as like a intimidation method. Threaten him with it after getting him out.
Yeah, the thing is, how would we get him out without having his men open fire?
I teleport in, I grab the asleep body and teleport out.
Have you been into his room?
I can sneak.
How well?
Yes. Let's see if my macro's up to date or not. Yes.
What's your actual sneak score?
That'd be 87.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That is better than Gene, so potential. There is okay. I guess we're doing that plan.
Whoa, I'm helping.
So yeah, I guess we'll wait till night and Misty pop in and try and get him.
Alright.
Masher will stay at the whale in case big loud distraction is needed.
Alright. So. As nightfall descends, it gets dark out here in the desert. And you go in. Roll sneak, Misty.
Again?
Sorry, I didn't do your first one.
I'm gonna say, I would really like to go with the first one.
I could use the power of chaos to turn that 88 into an 88.
Or you could use the power of chaos to turn the 41 into a 14. Eh? Eh?
Stop.
Heresy.
You go in with a 41, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any guards that are stationed about a Minotaur here, Hellhound over there, they don't detect you. Well, the Hellhound smells something, but at the same time, he's right next to the trash cans. So,
Doesn't
Not
smell
much
me.
better.
I cast clean.
that would make you more noticeable, you know, but alright. And you slowly make it up to the building that had the balcony. You're not sure which dot is which inside, but there's a grand total of 4 red dots inside the building. It's 2 stories tall, and you're not sure what floor they would be on.
It's the third one. It's always the third one.
Sure. Now you're going to search this first.
Sorry, what?
There's only 2 stories. Are you going to search the first or second floor first?
I thought you said there were doors. So I was going to search the third first.
I said there was 2.
Doors?
Stories.
Yes, but there's 4 dots.
Yes.
She's
Those
going
aren't
for the
mutually
third
exclusive.
dot first. Wherever that happens to be.
Alright. Sorry. I misheard. As you're walking around, all the dots are upstairs. But you go to the third dot, and it is a griffin. Not Jean's sister, but it is a griffin sitting at a stool. They're asleep, but they're sleepily alert. Any wrong move and you might wake them up.
Is this the time to pull a prank or not? I'll leave them alone. I'll be nice. I was going to break their window with a rock, but that seems kind of mean. Intact windows are hard to find. She is just going to keep moving along.
Which dot do you go to, number 4 or 2?
Let's go for 4. Why not?
Give me a moment. So, despite your attempts, you can't actually find where the spot is. It seems to be constantly moving around. Now,
Huh.
question for the one and only Taratot who knows, or at least has these things on demand somehow. And I remember I've asked this question before and we've written it down before. How do you do the people rolling perception to see people in stealth?
So they would roll their perception and compare it to Misty's stealth. The simplest way to do it is to say they have a perception of 8 and they roll a 5. Just add a 10 to it, so it's as if they rolled a 50 versus 80 and compare it to Misty's. That's the simplest way. But a 1 would still be a crit.
That seems a little.
All right.
I figured it was someone makes a stealth check, and for every degree of success, the person has a -1 to perception.
That's the way the books have it is you just compare the degrees of success between the attribute versus the skill. And you only, for the skill's degrees of success, you only count every 10. So if she had rolled...
Well, unless it's a tie.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
tie, then I would win because I've got an extra 6/10.
Well, either way, they got a 1 on that perception check, so.
Of course they did.
So, you've been spotted. You don't know. Well, you do because they tap on your shoulder repeatedly just to be an obnoxious person. But they remain in the shadows and out of sight. So, despite that, they're basically toying with you.
Okay. I mean, if they don't want to actually come out and play, then whatever. You just gotta keep looking around, like she belongs there. So, she'll head for dot number 2.
As you get near said dot, it's a bed. Well, it's on a bed. And Jane, this is your sister, so what weapon would they be using?
Wow, I haven't even done anything yet.
Would they be using unarmed weaponry or melee weaponry?
Gene?
All right, I'm rolling.
Yep.
Thing. I had to look at stuff.
Yeah, you still there, Gene?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jim asked you a question earlier.
What?
A question.
You answered.
Okay. Must have been through a whisper. Carry on.
Alrighty.
Out of nowhere, effectively, because sneakiness, you get stabbed in the side. And I'll just assume combat starts, but you don't have to roll initiative because it's basically back, forth, because it's only you two. Unless you make a bunch of noise and like other people up.
Okay, well, the very first thing I need to do then is look up a spell. Give me a sec. How does this work again?
Misty, did you take the binoculars with you?
No, I would have left them behind.
Okay. I suppose they're Gene's binoculars. I was just thinking it would make sense for us to be watching in case, oh, there's movement. Like, if you guys make a lot of noise.
I mean, she's inside the building. The only person who really has any sense of vision on her.
Yeah, but we
Would
can
be-
watch all the guards suddenly streaming with purpose to that building.
I don't
That
think
is
they're
fair.
Yeah, but I don't imagine they are right now.
I'm not saying they are right now, I'm just saying we can be watching them, and when they do, that's probably a sign of, oh, something's gone wrong.
Yay! Okay, so now we need to roll opposing strength checks, I think, is how it works, if I understand this correctly.
Wait, 16. You might want to roll that.
He hit 9 instead of 0.
She wins by 1 point.
how. She succeeded by 5, I succeeded by 10.
Let me relook at that. You're correct. I am stupid.
Oh no, I'm completely reading the spell wrong. So oh no, that's for items.
Put the spell in
Grappling people with
rules and
telekinesis.
stuff discussion.
Sorry, what?
Put the spell in rules and stuff discussion, that way I can read it.
Gene, the GM is echoing over your mic.
Gene really should look into if a set of headphones. That would
I am on head.
and and how's the echo happening?
Just a weird thing. Headphones or such registering the built-in.
I'm working on it.
There's such registering built-in mic, and I don't know. Sometimes it starts even playing like if I play a YouTube video, when it does that echo, you'll all hear the YouTube video even though I have head. So it's
That is strange.
The bad thing is this does not go into detail like I had found somewhere else about how contested roles for actually picking someone up. Because this talks about an item, but there's specific rules about picking someone up. Maybe that's in the original book. I'll look for it. Let's look here, blah blah blah. Souls. $40? No, I said $3.40. I don't, but where? Talk about. This is why I've never tried to make a build around it.
Magic is confusing.
As per visuals and creatures may make escape to escape. Blah. No, those are Pegasus tracks. Choke. Oh, I think I'm in the right place. Okay. Well, that's for choking? The opponent gets a normal pose. That's great, but where does it talk about actual? Oh, good. Tons of things talk about telekinesis, but the actual spell does not say how it works for actually grappling someone else, unless I'm just like completely blind.
Okay, I think I found it in the wording.
Okay.
In the final paragraph, the one that starts with the caster's effective strength, about halfway down. Let's see. Targets may make an opposed test against the spell's effective strength using their strength or agility at a penalty equal to the degrees of success on the caster's magic roll, up to a maximum of -3. This cannot reduce the target's effective strength or agility below 1 to break out of a telekinetic grip. And then following that, if they have a means of propulsion, such as wings or a nearby surface to kick off from, they can use strength +2 with no penalty.
So my magical strength, quote unquote, does not matter, only the degrees of success on my spell?
So, combining this with what the first paragraph says, you have to have or second paragraph says, sorry. You have to have enough potency to lift them, which it says as a general rule, potency of 4 is required to lift an adult pony, which you have much higher than. So you have the magical strength to lift them, for sure. So they now make an opposed test against your spell's effective strength to break out of your grip, if they wish to do that.
They roll a 1, but they have wings, so that's a +2.
That would just mean that they'd be rolling versus an 8. Meaning that would have been even more. So okay, so what I'm hearing is trying to grab someone with your telekinesis is usually not a super amazing option. Okay. Oh, that'd be why I never made a build around it.
Well, no, the degrees of success of your magic is the penalty they get to their strength or their agility check against.
Yeah, so I mean,
if they have a means of propulsion or a nearby surface to kick off from, they don't get a penalty.
Oh, never mind. Shutting up.
Yeah, so it's like, well, this is very much not useful. Okay. All that time wasted for nothing. Sorry.
Well, now we know. And now we know not to try it again unless we rip off their wings first.
Or we can just shoot them.
Don't tempt me.
Politely.
So, end result. Are they grappled or are they not?
They're not.
Okay.
That was only one action.
Wait, how are they not grappled though? Like,
because they rolled a 1.
Oh. Can you crit success on those kind of checks?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I figured from the very beginning, but I wanted to let this play out and see if I was wrong.
Considering it's an opposed check only in the sense of they have a penalty for the check that I rolled, they can't critically succeed. If it were just actual strength check versus strength check, it's up to the GM for how much does a crit success counteract someone else getting a higher degree of success. But since I'm not actually rolling strength or anything, they're only rolling, do I succeed? And they succeed.
All right, so we wasted like time on this. They break free from your attempt. And I'm going to anything else you're doing? Because I am technically going by AP costs and everything right now. Since you've started combat.
I'm not sure I have any non-lethal options, do I? Pretty much everything I have is lethal. Well, arguably, GM. Is there a way to make my single target cold spell non-lethal, like I'm gonna make you cold enough to fall asleep, sort of thing? Like put your body in hypothermic shock or something.
Yes, you can do that. I'm just trying to think of an ample penalty for that. I'm thinking minus 25 on your roll to cast it.
Sure. So that's a success. That's a success. And that's a success.
Well, she hasn't fallen asleep yet. She's still up and kicking.
I mean, that's my turn.
She once again disappears into the darkness.
And then it's my turn.
Now I'm just rolling for an attack. Actually, 2 attacks, but still. And the first one has bleeding effect on it because you know how all those weapons have like that one thing underneath them in their description or whatever.
I mean, that's cute, but it doesn't do any damage. So, if it doesn't do any damage, then I don't take any bleed. So she's just gonna, like, sigh a little bit, roll her eyes, and blast her with some more snowballs. That misses by 3. I think.
I believe
Yeah,
so, yeah.
math. That one hits. And, that one hits. And, yeah, that one hits. Sorry for doing like 300 cold damage to your sister, Jean.
300 cold
You
stun
are
damage.
crazy.
I mean, good thing elemental damage doesn't care about stun DT at all. Oh, that's how it... Right. That's how non-lethal damage works. You just say you're doing stun damage. I'm dumb. I could have just been using my sword this whole time.
Because that makes sense.
Well, you're not slashing at them with the sharp end, you're just whacking them with it. I think.
Ooh, look at this lightsaber. I'm going to smack you with it.
Have you ever been smacked upside the head with a lightsaber? Trust me, it hurts.
Yeah, physically and not stunningly. But sure.
I mean, it's better than poking the eye.
No. Well, yes, but no. She collapses, shivering,
Okay.
and
Pick her
is
up and put her
probably
on my back.
in some form of...
It's fine. She'll be okay in a minute. I put her on my back. I go into the room. I pick up the sleeping one with my magic. Make sure he looks like who they're supposed to be. And I'm pausing before I say what I do next to make sure that they actually look like who they're supposed to look like.
And I'm back.
It's a blue pony. He has a horn. He's
Good enough
he's
for
a
me.
stallion.
And all 3 of us are now back at the camp. Yay, teleport. They are unconscious, therefore they are willing. Or rather, they cannot be unwilling if they're unconscious. It's Fallout. I'm allowed to make that joke. Shush.
That's fair.
Did we say anything?
No, but you were
Nothing
thinking
here.
it mighty loudly.
I was thinking about zebra cake rolls.
I actually have zebra cake rolls just on the table next to me. Because they're the best. Anyway, Misty reappears in front of the group and places the bully burb down near the fire next to Jean and Barry going, yeah, sorry, she's kind of frozen. Make sure she's not gonna get sick.
She's in anaphylactic shock, so yeah.
Anaphylactic shock. Jesus Christ. She allergic to the cold?
I think you mean hypothermic.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
She's in hypothermic shock, but still.
So you gotta tie up unicorn.
The now awake unicorn is very confused as you go and tie him up, but yes.
Giggity.
Yes!
Ah,
Mini crit.
the roll of nice.
That was made a medicine check. Should, should we tie her up too, just in case?
Probably
Yeah,
a
if
good
she wakes
idea.
up.
Oh, we should probably tell her before she wakes up.
Oh, she's awake. She's just in hypothermic shock.
Oh, and Tater Tot can tie her up. He's got some garden hose to use.
Give her some blankets too.
I'll be back in a moment.
I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to type down here.
Yeah, after tying her up, maybe get some blankets on her, unless we want her to die.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
Well, that's one way to warm her up.
Haircut?
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure what to say.
Well, Gene knows what to say. I have a shotgun.
So does Tater Tot.
At
Yeah,
this point,
Gene's gonna
Master
bring
will
up
get
her
some
shotgun.
popcorn.
Soul is going to try and forcefully get you out from under the cover, Terratot.
Oh,
It's just
Gene will
wrong.
You want her to freeze. He's down there because, heat source.
Yeah, sure. Gene will fire and count down.
Oh, so you're going to alert the camp there? That stuff's going down?
Terratot raiders are like a thing that exists.
Yeah. So if there's gunshots
Gunfire
happening,
is not.
far away from there.
Gunfire outside of camp not uncommon.
No, but it will make the
Consistent
guards
gun-
more
Not
alert.
welcome.
Yeah, you will be physically removed.
Okay, then who's going to stop her from freezing to death? That's all that's happening there. If Jean
Yeah,
wants to
no.
get underneath the blanket and keep her warm, go for it.
We have blankets and there's going to be a fire soon.
My phone is about to die, just as a heads up. And I've been typing in Discord.
Why don't we let the doctor see to the patient?
Then do it.
That's what the medicine roll was for. Terratot, get out from under there. You're keeping me from doing my work.
Alright, so. Medicine roll, you've already done that. It was good. Yay. She is in simple terms, frozen. Or at least freezing. And the best you can probably do would be keep her warm and wait for it to pass. There is no like healing spell that would help this. Well, at least none that you would know. And your like bandages and healing potions, they're not really useful for helping someone not be freezing.
Is there any spot nearby that we can make a fire that won't draw attention to us?
You know, there's a much simpler way that, out of character, I should remind everyone of. Doesn't the car have a heater?
Also, as I said,
That's literally what I was thinking. Well, I was thinking more along the lines of laying her on top of the spark battery engine, but still.
Yeah, let's get back to
Yeah.
our other captain.
Have Root lay next to her.
is everyone ignoring me on purpose?
Well, considering we can barely hear you, Misty.
Well, as I said before, my phone died. My phone is about to die, and I'm typing into.
Where? Okay. Okay.
Between Misty and Root, we should have heat to keep her warm covered.
Alright. That should keep her warm, yes. Laying up against the car and having a dog and a small pony on her. So, and blankets, of course. As for the other pony, the blue unicorn, he's tied up. He's awake now, and he is not happy.
Oh, gee, welcome to the club.
Would someone like to tell me what the fuck is going on?
Bird
Watch your
Bread
language,
says
there's
hello.
Phillies here.
Can Masher smack him?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Double check how much does the hoof
But
do?
at the mention of her name, his eyes sort of have that realization in them. He's like, and that oh shit face on his face.
Oh yeah. Now, the only thing that's gonna prolong your life here is if you tell us where Wisp is.
Now, let's not be too hasty here. She is perfectly fine.
Above board, when Masher smacks him, since he's like tied up and sitting down, and Masher's like right on top of him. Do you want me to actually roll the skill check, or just be like,
just RP it. Just roll strength to see how much force behind it.
okay? Shut up. All right, carry on.
There is a noticeable mark as he almost falls over.
Right. If she is fine, then where is she?
Hell if I should know. She up and left. Okay.
Where did she go?
Where she's begging to come with me, and then she's leaving without a word.
And you have no idea where she went.
Look, I'm from Equestria. These islands are nuts. I don't know these islands like the back of my hoof or anything. She could be right over the mountains. She could be back in Equestria for all I fucking know.
No. I have another question. Why did you take her along?
I have a follow-up question. Why did you take a job from a drunken, abusive parent?
Considering she ran away from you, you didn't seem to feel any better.
Look, I know I'm not great, but I'm better than her, and my daughter can make her own choices. She's fucking 20-something years old at this point.
Yeah, how old?
24.
20?
24.
Hmm. All right. Here's another question, sir. How did you meet your wife?
As in, how did I leave physically?
No.
Or
how
what
did you
state did I leave her
How?
in?
Sorry. No. How did you? Because she did not look that old enough for someone to have a 24-year-old daughter. She is somewhere in her 30s at most, maybe late 30s, if you're lucky. Yeah, out of character there, the implication is that the mother was around 13 to 15 when she got knocked out.
Out of character, your implications are probably correct.
Yeah, honestly, we don't really need this guy for anything else. This is just more kindling fire. Right. Well, if you're not going to answer that, how about one more? What were you talking to your men about today? The big speech.
Considering I think I already know that you're going to kill me, why would I tell you?
Well, the answer will depend on whether or not you decide to pour a pile of taint all over you before we decide to kill you. Yeah, your wife wanted you to go very slow and very.
I'm not sure which one of you is the bigger asshole, you or her.
Hey, the job's a job. I'm just fulfilling my contract. So, is that a no?
He takes a deep breath. He takes a deep breath and sternly looks back at you, saying nothing.
Who's holding the?
It's basically just a silent no.
Do we want to waste the taint on him or not? I don't hear the rest of it.
I don't think anyone's answered yet.
I can just set him on fire.
I mean, you could set him on fire. I could drive over him slowly.
You know, we could do a classic Western execution. Tie him
just
to the
bury
bumper of
him.
the car and just drag him to death.
We could do that. And it would be harder for them to find him and possibly save his ass.
Yeah, 'cause we just keep going and parts will fall off as it does its thing, and then once he's dead, we can untie him and go on our merry way.
Nah, he's a unicorn. He might be able to pull something that comes.
Well, then we take my crowbar, we shatter his horn, and then we do it.
Oh, right, he's a unicorn. Misty slaps a magic negation ring on that.
Oh, that's
Slaps
right,
it
you
on
had
so
those.
hard.
Wait,
I've got
we
2
have
of
them?
those. Yeah, I've got 2. I have one from when this game first started, and I got another from when the guy took me away. He slapped another one on me, so I was like, okay, thanks. Now I have 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Yeah,
just,
well- Bumper
drag him to
sounds
death.
good then.
Anyone object? Speak now.
If he wanted to live a long life, he would not have taken so young a filly for his wife.
Also, the slaver thing. But are you sure you guys want to do that? I mean, Jean doesn't get any negative karma for this, but the rest of you guys might.
I did say I was going to start giving out karma. And while you're killing a slaver, that's good. You're also dragging him around by your car, which is bad.
Yeah, Jean could just.
I mean, you could just let Gene drive, and he would, and the rest of you wouldn't be affected. But
Yeah,
also,
let's
Gene
just.
would be
No,
driving.
no. Master's not giving up the wheel.
Hey, do you guys really want to?
Do we have a physical description of the daughter?
Yeah, we already know the age and that she has a sky blue coat and a silver mane.
Okay. Did you/we check the slaves to see if she was there?
No, I figured we were going to hit this place anyway because slavers.
Yeah, because that was the other job we were hired for, to hit this place and kill all the slavers.
Oh, well then, like, why didn't people tell me that?
Or that was brought up, but just not this session.
I mean, again, no one told Misty, so.
Well,
I believe we did. At some point.
Yeah, at some
She was there
point.
when this quest thing was originally given out by the mayor of the whole.
Oh, then yeah, no. I
Wow.
wasn't here for that.
Yeah, it looks like it's death by burning then, since you can't
May-
drive away with it.
Okay.
So, everyone okay with me just unloading Dragon's Breath rounds into him?
I mean, that works.
I mean, I had no objection to driving him around, but sure.
And then Jean's going to just fire 2 rounds into him. And just, let him catch fire.
I mean, I got some fire bombs if you want one of those.
Oh yeah, you can do that too. Oh, Jean can.
I mean, Masher is not going to object. It's not like he hasn't done such things before.
Yeah, I have 20 rounds, so I could.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can throw one if you want.
He screams and writhes in burning agony. And you know that someone was liable to have heard that, so you should probably not stick around. Or at least hide somewhere.
I mean, if we could set up an ambush for the ones that are likely to come looking.
Yeah, that sounds
Because we
like
still
a
have to hit
better
this
idea.
place. Yes, we just let him burn and getting back a bit, we can put Giselle in.
Well, I will end it off with you all setting up an ambush because it is 11:45.
Mm-hmm.
You've now finished counting. The payout will eventually.
I'm gonna give you rewards in a bit. I have to go use the restroom first.
And in the meantime, I'll wrap up the stream. So, to everyone who came to watch the stream, I hope you all had a good time. Thank you so much for joining us and on our. Would misadventures be a good word for this?
Shenanigans?
Yep.
We just burned a guy to death.
And then ran him over.
How much experience was he worth? Sorry, couldn't resist.
So
No. Valid question.
Well, we'll see what happens next time with this little ambush of ours. Until then, take care.